So is it, if it's not, we'll do something better and that'll make us a superstar. But ultimately, that's not the goal. The goal is to live life worth remembering.
You said you're basically down to fight anyone, but why specifically Leon Edwards?
He is ranked where I want to be ranked, because that puts me closer to where I want to be, and that is with the belt around my waist.
Division right now, but I'm definitely open to that for sure. Most definitely, you know. It was also a good win, you know. That's another possibility. But I heard he might be moving up. But you know, whatever's next for me, I'm definitely staying ready for. You know, I would like to get another fight in before the end of the year.
He's open to staying. Murtai's open to staying at this weight class if he can unify only.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I feel like that'd be amazing. I feel like any one of these fights at this level in my career would be a great fight to prove where I'm at. And it's a career-defining fight right now, so that'll push me to that next level, I think.
How would you match up with the either or of these two guys?
I feel like I come on top. With anybody who fought here tonight, I feel like we'd be able to cook up a game plan in the gym, and with my appetite, I feel like I'm gonna eat on fight night.
Are you surprised the fight with Murtai went the distance?
No, I'm not surprised it went to distance. I thought it was gonna go to distance.
Faster fashion. You assume there's a lot of talent here in this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could win any more impressive than he did. I mean, the first shot pretty much knocked him out, because the second one hit him in the chest, sort of a back of the head shot, and then some punches on the ground. Pretty much knocked him out with one punch.
Is that the first time you've seen flares in the crowd at a UFC?
Yes, thank God.
No, don't want to see that.
I hope I never see that again.
And last one from me, Usman Nurmagomedov has finished his contract with PFL. Is that someone you'd be interested in signing and bringing to the UFC?
Sure.
Cool.
Dana.
Yeah.
Here. Simone Tata for Fight for Yours. First of all, speaking of Uros Medic and the performance he delivered, which was crazy in front of his own crowd, like, is that the way someone actually becomes or can become a superstar?
What's the question? Yeah.
The performance that he had, Uros Medic, is that the way somebody becomes a superstar in the UFC?
Well, I mean, become a superstar. First of all, he has the most first-round KOs in the division's history. He's got the longest string of KOs in the division. Third longest first-round KO string in the sport, I think. The highest knockdown rate. You know. He's got a ton of records with knocking people out in the first round. And if you keep coming in and you work your way up the rankings and, you know, fight for a world title, and there's a lot of things that it takes to become a superstar. He is definitely headed in the right direction.
Awesome. Also, when it comes to event in Europe, when I asked you the question at the press conference, you talked about specifically Spain, bringing the UFC to Spain. With Topuria actually losing the belt against Justin Gaethje, is it actually maybe easier right now to organize an event in Spain, because you might do a fight night with Topuria in the main event, and it would have been possible if he had been...
Well, it's never been easy to do a fight night in Spain or a numbered event in Spain, or we would have done it already. You know, rarely do I talk about things that we don't do. I don't know if I've ever, other than Spain.
I'm still in awe. I'm still kind of, because it's a bit in their way. He just the whole thing, the walkout, when he stepped into the octagon, he just looked so relaxed. And then there was a sequence in there where he just looked relaxed. It wasn't panic. And even when he got popped with that jab, nose started bleeding, he stayed composed. And you're watching it, I know the guy, and I'm just like, oh, he's relaxed, like, he's chill. And fighting so recently, this shit is like, it's just like, another day in the office. A good day in the office for Navarro Stirling.
I didn't get to interview him. It was that bad. They talked about killing each other and all this stuff. And then that was buried. So I thought to myself, okay, this thing's over, because you cannot sell a rematch or any type of rivalry between these two, because you almost pulled the curtain back. Well, Shakur Strickland was talking the other day. Well, Khamzat-Strickland immediately, like after the fight, started saying why he lost, and you could tell he didn't feel like Sean felt.
Charles Oliveira and Arman-Tsarukyan, this does make sense. I'm still a believer that Arman should be getting the next title shot, but if Gaethje is not fighting till 2027, Arman needs a UFC fight. I'm not a big fan of these side quests where he is doing RAF all the time or grappling or whatever. I think you need to be active. You need to take a UFC fight. And the first fight was close. Oliveira just came off a big win over Max Holloway. It makes sense to have the rematch now. I'm totally fine with that, and I think it fits the bill for this event. But let's start first with the current champ, Islam Makhachev, as he looks to make the first successful title defense at 170. And I should mention this is going to be taking place at the Infinity Mobile Arena in Philly, August 15th, like I mentioned there. Islam, you can see 28-1. He's got 5 knockouts, 13 submissions, and 10 decisions. He's 34 years old. He's 5'10" with a 78.5-inch reach. He's the current welterweight champion. He's the 11th multi-division champion in UFC history.
Here with Lamont Roach, post-fight against Zepeda. Lamont, just, talk to me a little bit about tonight, man. I know it didn't go your way, but what did you think about overall how the night went?
Tonight wasn't my best night, but no excuses. Hats off to Zepeda. They came prepared, and when all else fails, you fight. And that's what I did. My timing was a little off. I was throwing one big shot, and they was capitalizing with the work rate. So, it was just a lot of things that was just a little off. And then on top of that, he was punching.
Yeah, what about tonight was the most difficult you feel, or why were things just a little off, you feel?
Tonight he was just a little better. He was, and this just tonight. He was defensively a little better, moved his head, he used his feet in certain instances. He wasn't just a straight come forward fighter tonight, and it offset me a little bit. So.
Después de la derrota ante Shakur, vienen las críticas. Al final de cuentas es una derrota. Sin embargo, después de tanta crítica de algunas personas que fueron exigentes, no sabe doble el triunfo, no lo saboreas más.
Algo de lo que tengo que me han enseñado en mi casa es de que tanto las buenas críticas como las malas críticas se toman. Por algo están. Regresamos de la pelea de Shakur y regresamos a trabajar también. Tomamos en cuenta esas críticas. Dolían, pero no las tomamos en cuenta. Y pues creo que se vieron reflejadas de que sí sirvieron.
William, Shakur Stevenson was talking about fighting Lamont Roach. If he would have beat you in this fight, do you think tonight you did enough to get a rematch with him?
Dice que Shakur Stevenson está hablando de pelear con Ramón Roach si tuviera ganado. ¿Sería justo una revancha contra él?
Es algo que me gustaría, donde él me diga 175, 140.
We did some good business together. Put it here. And Daniel's saying no, that's not going to happen. Now, let me tell you why. And it bothers me. It bothers me. I'm nothing more than a spectator and a fan, but it bothers me. Because, and I do feel that if John had cleaner hands, that's a legal expression, but when you come to court, you must have clean hands. You can't be hiding something. John is riddled with a level of guilt. If I was to ask you right now for $1 million